From a very young age, we are taught that it is wrong to steal. It's immoral and is so important that not only is it the 8th of the 10 Commandments, followed by Jews and Christians, but it is a major factor in all the world religions. What is stealing? There are actually many forms of stealing. Some are obvious and few would think twice about saying that they were clearly wrong. Armed robbery. This involves the use of threats and weapons and is stealing on a very large scale from banks, warehouses, lorries and other places which would hold a large amount of product. This carries a prison sentence of between 18 months to 20 years. Sentences of 4 to 5 years are common. Burglary. Burglary is breaking into someone's house or property and attempting to steal items from it. Sometimes this also involves the use of threats and violence. Victims not only face the loss of their property, often things that have a sentimental value for them, but also they go on to live in fear that their home, which had always been a place of safety for them, is no longer secure and has become violated and spoilt. Burglars face up to 6 years imprisonment if unarmed and up to 13 years if armed. Mugging and pickpocketing. Mugging is the act of attacking someone in a public place, often with the intention of stealing from them. Pickpocketing is similar, but without the element of attack. People are often unaware that they have lost goods such as wallets, purses and phones until later and therefore have no chance of identifying the thief. Imprisonment can range from 1 to 16 years depending on the element of assault. Shoplifting. Taking goods from stores is theft. The goods do not belong to the thief. Many shoplifters try to convince themselves that because companies are large and faceless, they're not really hurting others. This is not true. The price of goods, including ingredients and materials, a workforce to make the product, the cost of running a shop, including staff wages, electricity, rent, taxes paid on goods to the government, insurance, and covering the cost of huge amounts of stolen revenue. Companies have to put up the price of goods to cover their losses. That means that every single one of us is having to pay more for every item that we buy simply because of shoplifters. Watch this short video clip.
Control to Tango 4. Tango 4 receiving.
Receiving control, go ahead.
Can you go to cosmetics? I've got a male and female. Male in a grey and white striped hoodie with a carrier bag, and a female with a pink and white striped top, blonde hair, sunglasses, both juveniles.
I'll head that way and see if I can see them. They're moving off now. Control room 7 to Whiskey 1, just left my location, approaching Bradford and Bin Leader, IC1 male, grey and white top, blue jeans, carrier bag, IC1 female, blonde hair, pink and white striped top, blue jeans.
Yeah, that's all received. We've got them on camera just crossing Queensway as we speak.
Yeah, go ahead. Got IC1 male and IC1 female been in my location and concealed, heading up Hanover buildings. Received.
Yeah, we'll received. We're listening out. If you can keep us updated.
Now put his hood up. Received.
Yeah, Whiskey 1, that's received. We've got them on camera just going around the corner by the old McDonald's.
Yeah, TCU Mike 7. Now we've got visual. Just stand over here for us for a sec. And we've had information that you've been in Debenhams. Is this from? Can you just double check that, please?
Yeah, that's the items from Debenhams.
Back to the store here so that we can carry out some further checks about who they are. We're now going to have to question them in relation to the offence, so they'll now be transported back to Southampton Police Station where they'll be booked into the custody centre by a sergeant who will authorise their detention.
Been arrested on suspicion of theft from Debenhams. He was with one other, a female, for which they've selected fragrances to the value of 150 quid, which they concealed in a carrier bag. They've left the store making no attempt to pay.
They will be obviously given their rights to a solicitor, rights to a phone call, right to have someone informed of the arrest.
You don't have to say anything. However, it may harm the defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
Taking things that belong to others. We know from a young age that taking something that is not ours, from a sweet in a shop, money to other people's possessions, is wrong. No matter how small the item is in value, this is still theft. But how often have we excused ourselves by trying to convince ourselves that we're only borrowing the item and intend to return it? Borrowing without permission. TWOC, called TWOC, or taking without owner's consent, describes taking a car, motorbike or other motor vehicle and using it without the permission of the owner, including a member of the family, neighbour or friend. This is illegal. So, how do victims feel? Well, they feel angry and upset that they've been stolen from. Afraid that something might happen again. They feel disappointed with someone that they thought of as a friend. They feel mistrusting of everyone. They feel out of pocket because of loss of an item or insurance not covering all the cost. They feel anxious that trouble may happen at any time. It can result in difficulty sleeping and tearful and emotional outbursts affecting their normal life. Is there such a thing as victimless crime? Thieves would like to believe so, but actually all theft affects us. Sometimes it's an individual who suffers, but often the cost of theft is added to the price of goods and insurance premiums and paid by everybody. There is no such thing as victimless theft. What are the consequences of stealing? If you carry out an act of stealing, you may get into trouble with other kids, parents, teachers, or even the police. People may not trust you in the future. You could lose your friends. Friends' parents may think you're a bad influence on their children and you won't be invited to their houses anymore. You may be banned from a store if the owners think you're stealing. Schools can issue sanctions including fixed term and permanent exclusions. Legally, there are consequences too. Stores have the right to detain you and call the police. It's usual that parents or carers are informed, and penalties can range from a police warning in front of your parent or guardian, a fine, community service, a police record, an ASBO, which is an antisocial behaviour order, a CBO, a criminal behaviour order, or even youth custody. Repeat offenders convicted of shoplifting can be fined or jailed for up to 6 months if the goods are worth up to £200, or imprisoned for up to 7 years if the goods are worth over £200. What should you do if you know someone who is stealing? If your friend is stealing or trying to get you to steal, there are things you can do. Tell the friend that stealing is wrong. He or she may get upset with you, but you need to let them know how you feel. Tell one of your trusted adults this is not grassing or snitching. This is trying to help your friend stay out of trouble and learn what is right before things escalate further. Don't hang around with someone who steals, because you could end up being in trouble too because of the rules about joint enterprise. Make sure that you and your friend hang out with positive people. Don't ever join in with stealing. It's not cool, it's stupid. Just look at the people who spend most of their lives in jail because they steal from others. Is that where you want to spend your life? Taking precautions to keep yourself and your property safe. Don't leave possessions out and about in temptation's way. Ensure things have your name on them in school, and don't take things of value to school if you can possibly help it. Have your bike recorded on the National Bike Database. Lock your bike up with a good quality padlock and within street lighting. Put your money and phone, etc. into a zipped bag that can be worn over the shoulder. Take particular care in busy places like buses, train stations, crowded shops. Be aware that gangs of pickpockets may work together. Some will distract while others steal. For example, watching street theatre such as magic acts or human statues. If approached in an intimidating manner, always give the item the thief wants to them. It is better to lose something than be hurt or injured. Things are replaceable. You are not. A message to thieves. The United Kingdom has the largest number of CCTV cameras in the world, with approximately 4 million. London has 2/3 alone. Many of these are in shops and towns. You are being watched. It's estimated that you're caught on camera over 200 times every single day.